Bengals versus Jaguars, aka Hunters in Jungle. What do you want me to say? Jamar Chase on one side, Travis Hunter on the other, Bengals versus Jaguars, both hunting cats. So, is it going to be an interesting matchup? I do think so. Bengals might have won in week 1, but that did not look good. On the other side, Jaguars absolutely dismantled the Panthers. Now, one thing I'm most interested in this one is how will Jaguars defense fend off against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, because I don't think beside Tyson Campbell they necessarily have corners to do so. Will they put Travis Hunter much more on defense, and sacrifice his offensive production? In this game, I would actually like to see him as an outside corner 50% of the time, because I think he's their best chance to fend off this duo of great wide receivers. I wonder if they will use this as a tactical advantage. Ravens versus Browns, aka pissed off duel. Both these teams have strong case to be 1-0, but both are 0-1, losing by 1 freaking point. I mean, Ravens, what a Raven thing to do, like blowing 40-25 lead. Man, Harbaugh, you need to do better. That punt decision was atrocious. And the defense, allowing 41 points, they are going to be pissed. On the other side, Browns defense was functional, amazing. They absolutely stopped the Bengals. But the offense could not deliver, and especially on special teams, they just screwed up. Now, this is going to be a divisional game, but there is a 12.5 point spread. So everybody believes Ravens is going to kick Browns' ass. And, I cannot blame them, because Lamar look unfreaking stoppable. Jets versus Bills. Different and tails. I mean, take out last 10 minutes of week 1 and Jets are 1-0 and Bills are 0-1. Both would be blowout win and blowout loss. But the reality stuck differently. I mean, Jets muffed the punt and Steelers took advantage. On the other side, punch fumble from the Bills and they turn around a game in which they were 15 points down against the Ravens. Both teams leaned on offense. For the Bills, that's absolutely expected. You have Josh freaking Allen. On the other side, for the Jets, not so much. Justin Fields was really incredible in week 1. Can the defenses bounce back in this matchup? Saints versus 49ers, aka 4 years later. A lot of talk about Kyle Shanahan actually wanting Mac Jones over Trey Lance in the draft. At the end of the day, neither Mac Jones for Patriots or Trey Lance for the 49ers actually worked. Now, in this offseason, Mac Jones has been signed towards 49ers as a backup, but right now, Brock Purdy is injured. So what it means, it's Mac Jones' time. And will it work? We will have to wait and see. Now, on the other side, do not overlook the ageless wonder that is Demario Davis, 36 years old, young. I mean, he plays middle linebacker position as if his life would depend on it. He is playing freaking amazing. He was the best player for the Saints in week 1. And what prior to the season should have been a clear favorite in terms of 49ers could actually be a very close game. Dolphins versus Patriots, aka on chopping block. I mean, the Dolphins look like the worst team in week 1. Facing the Colts, led by Daniel Jones and looking flat like this, that was ugly. No intensity, no fighting, not caring about each other. It was a piss poor performance. Already there are talks about Mike McDaniels being on the hot seat. He's a great offensive mind, but as a leader of men, he seems to be failing. And to add on top of that, Chop Robinson, who absolutely emerged late last year, was bad. The defensive line that should have been strength with Jalen Phillips back, with Bradley Chubb back, and with Walter Nolan arriving from the draft, it should have been an absolute strength, but week 1, they didn't do much. Lions versus Bears, aka sharpen your claws, because week 1, you did not look like you have it sharpened. Both teams looked absolutely abysmal. Lions, they were not really in the game against the Packers. Their offensive line could not hold, especially their interior. And we told you this is going to be the point of emphasis. And it does not look good in week 1. And their whole game plan is predicated on, in terms of offense, on this interior not allowing pressure, because Jared Goff is not mobile and they need this for their RPO options. Now on the other side, Bears, you had your game in the bag, then you screwed up again. Now, both teams absolutely need this win, because starting 0-2 is kind of not an option. Ben Johnson revenge game, we will see how that goes. Cowboys versus Giants, aka week 1 deception. I mean, they both lost, but they both told a very, very different tale. On one side, Cowboys were absolutely in it against the Super Bowl champs in Eagles. And, they were a couple of drops from CeeDee Lamb from actually winning that one. On the other side, Giants absolutely look flat. They again did not score a touchdown in their season opener. 3rd straight year in a row. That's unexcusable. I mean, Russell Wilson, we are talking about benching him. He's confirmed starter for week 2, but after that, nothing is certain. Now, they need to get their shit together. They need to turn around the season, and we are only talking about week 2, because if they don't, Brian Daboll is going to get fired, and this is going to get ugly for the Giants. Steelers versus Seahawks, aka another revenge game. It started with Rodgers versus Jets. Now it's DK versus the Steelers. How will this one go? Despite different week 1 results, I think both teams needs to bounce back. Because let's face it, Steelers might have won, but their defense that they're supposed to lean on, it was really not good. And Seahawks, they really struggled offensively. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup, which side can bounce back. Now, what I'm very interested about is, will Devin Witherspoon play more outside corner and perhaps try to shadow DK Metcalf? That would be one hell of a matchup. Titans versus Rams, aka another uphill battle. I mean, you start your career at Mile High versus the Denver defense, and now the Rams defense that comes to town, the defense that absolutely shut down Texans with CJ Stroud, despite CJ actually playing very well. That's really a tough ask. Now, Cam Ward needs absolutely help because his wide receivers let him down. Hello, Mr. Ridley. Also, Dan Moore, we paid you $20 million. Can you fucking protect something? Someone? You know, perhaps. And now Jared Verse comes to town and he's going to take your lunch money if you are not going to improve. And also your head coach, Mr. Callahan, Ryan Callahan, dude, I mean, it's second year. You had your chance with Will Levis. You didn't show much. Now you have your number 1 pick with Cam Ward. Scheme him. You know, give him something open. Something. He absolutely needs that. He was really good. Don't waste him. Cardinals versus Panthers, aka they need Ike. Carolina really struggled offensively in week 1. We hoped they could follow up what was a really good end of last year, especially with T-Mac that they drafted number 8 overall, that this offense could be humming, but it did not. Ike Ekwonu was really missing piece for this offense. He is hurt and they hope he can come back for this game. Bryce Young, without his protection on left side, he made several bad throws. The only good thing for that offense was that T-Mac really showed up for his first game in the NFL. On the other side, defensive line of the Cardinals suffered several injuries, but they are a unit that is equipped for that. They are probably the deepest defensive line in the NFL. So will Ike be back? And if not, can they somehow pull up the protection for Bryce Young so he can have a fighting chance against the Cardinals? Colts versus Broncos, aka do you believe? I mean, I never imagined it, wondering if Daniel Jones cannot play Bo Nix, but here we are. Bo Nix really struggled mightily in week 1, but let's be fair, Titans defense isn't an easy out, and he kind of did the same last year, but he was a rookie. Though I have my issues with Bo Nix, I credited him with one thing last year, and that was he really bounced back after several bad performances in the start of the year, so I kind of trust him that he can do the same this season. On the other side, Daniel Jones had a fantastic week 1, but now he's going to face one of the best defenses in the league. Can he still produce? Chiefs versus Eagles, aka both looked rusty. I mean, we could have gone with Super Bowl rematch, but this to me is much more precise. Neither team looked sharp in week 1. Eagles escaped to win, while Chiefs did not. Now, heading into Arrowhead, Eagles are actually being told as favorites. I don't think I've ever seen Mahomes being an underdog at home. And don't get me wrong, they are not as good of a team as Eagles, but Mahomes at home, winning 10 straight, this is going to be one hell of a matchup. Now, don't you think that Mahomes being called, well, you are an underdog, perhaps you are not the best anymore. Now, there is a lot of talk about him shouldering the CB on the sideline. Don't you think he treats this as a mini Super Bowl after what happened in the actual one in February? I mean, this should be one hell of a game. Vikings versus Falcons, aka no pressure JJ. Week 1 for JJ McCarthy gave us an amazing fourth quarter and his first win as an NFL starting quarterback, a display of great leadership. He also could have Christian Deriso back, that would be huge. Falcons, they generated a lot of pressure on Baker Mayfield, but they needed to blitz for that. And while blitzing, Baker absolutely carved them open. But how do you trust JJ McCarthy, let's say a rookie in his second ever game, to be able to handle so many blitzes? Well, I do, because he has madman Brian Flores as his DC. So he's seen more blitzes at training camp than pretty much any quarterback in this league. So I think that despite the pressure that Falcons will try to generate, he is not going to feel under any. Texans versus Buccaneers, aka unexpected Super Bowl preview. I mean, you won't see many people predicting this duo to make it. And I'm not saying it's likely, but week 1 showed me that there is a chance for this to be actually far less far-fetched prediction that it could have seen. Baker was for real. No Chris Godwin, no Tristan Wirfs, yet he was really good against Falcons. On the other side, CJ Stroud might have put only 9 points, but that was against amazing Rams defense. He still played one hell of a game. And if they can figure out protection, this offense could be just good enough that with the elite defense that is backing them up, they could really make noise in January. Quite happy to see this game on prime time. Raiders versus Chargers, aka Unleashing the Beasts. On the side of Raiders, it's Mad Max Crosby. It's a shame we don't get to see him against Rashawn Slater or Joey Alt, because I think they will be smart about this. Rashawn Slater is out for the season and they have to replace him with Trey Pipkins. And Max Crosby versus Trey Pipkins, well, you better add some help for Trey Pipkins, otherwise he's going to struggle mightily, as he did in week 1. Max Crosby was amazing, unlike him in week 1. On the other side, you have a beast of your own, and his name is Justin Herbert. I mean, this dude was amazing against Chiefs defense that is led by Steve Spagnuolo, who I respect tremendously. Greg Roman, his offensive coordinator, had so many quarterbacks, including Lamar Jackson as an MVP. But I think Justin is the first guy that makes him rethink his whole offense strategy, which is run first.